Hey guys, my name is Matumio, and I wanted to do something a little bit different today. There are a lot of weapons in Battlefield 4 that are very similar. You got your long-range weapons, you got your close encounter, and then pretty much everything in between, and it can be kind of challenging to know which one to use over the other. So if you're playing as the Assaults and you have 3 or 4 close encounter guns, which one should you choose and why? And so I kind of wanted to start up a new series where I compare 2 weapons, and for today it's going to be the long-range SAR-21 and the SCAR-H, and then kind of showcase why you might want to use one over the other, which is going to perform better in certain kind of combat situations, or which one may just suit your playstyle a little bit more. And so to start things off, both of these guns are very similar in their rounds per minute, and they really solidify the fact that they are long-range weapons. The SAR-21 has an RPM of 600, and the SCAR-H has one of 620, and so while the SCAR-H kind of ekes out in the end there, it's not a substantial difference. But other than their rounds per minute, that's pretty much all of the similarities that these 2 guns hold, other than the fact that they're great at long range. And so a really good example of this is their damage model. The SAR-21 is going to do 25 damage up close, or that's its max damage, and then its minimum damage is 18 at long range, while the SCAR-H has the highest damage model out of all the assault rifles, doing a staggering 34 damage up close, or its max, and then a minimum damage of 25 damage around 50 meters and out. And so the minimum damage of the SCAR-H is the max damage of the SAR-21, and so at least in the damage department, the SCAR-H completely blows it out of the water. As for the recoil numbers though, the SAR-21 is amazing. Like, it's almost laser beam like. If you want a weapon that you don't have to deal with pretty much any recoil at all, this gun is probably right up your alley. It's got a horizontal of 0.18, almost non-existent, and then a horizontal or a left kick of 0.2 and a right of 0.2. So it's basically you hold down the button, maybe deal with a little bit of recoil, but as long as you're aiming at the enemy, the bullets are going to travel in that direction. The SCAR-H, on the other hand, has the highest vertical recoil out of the assault rifles with a 0.5 and a left kick of 0.2 and a right of 0.2. And so while it doesn't have a whole lot of horizontal deviation there, if you hold down the trigger, it's going to kick like a mule, and you're going to have to compensate that pretty substantially. On the other hand though, it does have a low initial recoil, and so if you're able to just kind of tap fire, and that's kind of how you're supposed to use the SCAR-H, it becomes a lot more manageable. As for their reload times, the SCAR-H has a surprisingly fast animation. If you still have a bolt in the chamber, it's going to take you only 1.9 seconds to go through it, and if you have gone through all of your rounds, which is pretty easy, we'll get to that here in a second, it only takes you 2.4 seconds. As for the SAR, it's going to take you 2.3 seconds to go through the short, and a staggering 3.4 if you've gone through all of your rounds. So a pretty substantial difference in that department as well. The final stat that we're going to be looking at though is their magazine size. The SCAR-H is going to have 21 rounds in a mag if you still had a bullet in the chamber, while the SAR-21 will have 30 or 31. So now that we kind of have all the stats out of the way, what do these numbers actually mean? How is it going to affect your playstyle and how you use each of these different candidates? Well, in my opinion, the SAR-21 is strictly a long-range killing machine. If you try to use this up close and personal, while you can be successful in some circumstances, it's mainly going to come down to you catching the enemy by surprise, getting a nice flank off, or if they're a terrible player, because if they kind of start the firefight at the same time as you do, and they're using something like the AEK, the FAMAS, or even a reasonably fast RPM weapon, they're going to have a huge advantage over you. Its time to kill is very, very high, and so if you do try to run and gun, and you're successful with it, then you're either a god or a headshot machine, but for everyone else, just simply because of the way that the stats are presented, and it has such a slow rounds per minute, you're going to want to use this one at a distance. The SCAR-H, on the other hand, I feel like is a much more versatile candidate. It's got a higher damage model, so even if you get up close and personal, you have that higher damage to kind of take them out. And while you do need to be a little bit more accurate with it, because you only have 21 rounds in a magazine, if you are able to nail each of your shots, its time to kill is going to be way lower compared to the SAR-21, and it's for that very reason why I believe that this gun, it just outperforms and is much more versatile than the other candidate. On the other hand, if you do not want to deal with any type of recoil, then the SAR is an amazing choice. Like, you guys can see throughout today's video, like, it is practically a laser beam. And if you want to use this as kind of a zone control, or you want to lock down a long corridor or a long lane, especially if you're playing on something like Operation Locker, this is the perfect weapon for it. You don't even really have to deal with the recoil at all. You point and click at the enemy, and as long as they don't duck behind cover or kind of sneak around and close the gap on you, you're going to have a lot of fun and be really successful with it. So hopefully what I've kind of painted and illustrated for you guys is the SAR-21 is going to be your go-to long-range weapon. It's going to be great for locking down long corridors, but don't try to use it really in any other kind of circumstance, just simply because the stats aren't going to back up that type of playstyle. The SCAR-H, on the other hand, while it does have a significant amount of recoil, and I understand that can be a turnoff for some players, if you're able to manage that, and you're able to work around the fact that it only has 21 rounds in a magazine, so you need to be accurate with each of your shots, and need to be conservative with your ammunition, if you're able to work around all of those kind of disadvantages, this is a very skillful and powerful gun. It can perform well in pretty much every single type of combat scenario, and in my opinion, as long as you're able to kind of work around these pitfalls and master the gun, it is far superior to the SAR-21. But yeah, that's basically my comparison of these two weapons. I hope you enjoyed. If this is something that is appealing to you guys and you would like me to continue on with doing more of these comparison-like videos between two particular weapons that are very similar or fit a certain type of role, let me know down below in the comment section. This is kind of experimental for me, and I'm kind of letting you just decide if this is something that I should continue on with my channel, so let me know down below in the comment section. But until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.